Hiya, and welcome back to Tennis Ace. The game that teaches us... Oh my god. Yes, I am taking my socks off. It feels amazing. There we go. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Guess I stopped caring. Yuichi. July 31st. Never change broken day screen. Never change. It's always gonna be broken. Like, if I'm not recording, then it works then it works just fine, but as soon as I'm recording, it breaks. We love you, broken transition. We love you. I step out into the corridor, walking confidently toward my destination. June barely paid it much attention, merely giving me a curt nod and smile when I promptly got up from my seat, having already gotten used to it from last week. Although I don't tend to stay there for the entirety of our lunch break, but by the time I get back to my class, there isn't much of it left, so I haven't talked to him much lately. I was relieved the first time I went back and saw that Shuichi and Saya had still shown up. They seemed a bit out of it when I got back, probably from working too hard lately. Part of me worried that with our vacation period fast approaching, the two would be too busy with their respective clubs and councils to show up and keep the tiger company. But it seems I worried for nothing. Then again, he's also stupidly popular in our class. So without any of us around, he'd probably be getting approached left and right either way. Today, just like I've done several times already last week, I strut into this classroom without a care in the world. I was instantly locking onto my target. Morning.
Good lord, again! Fuck!
What are you making that face for? Do you not like having me around?
That's not what I'm saying! Don't twist my words! Not this bitch again!
Cool. Then you won't mind if I take a seat. I casually grab an unoccupied chair next time, swing it towards my boyfriend's desk, sitting directly across from him with what I am sure is a self-satisfied grin on my face.
How many this time?
You mean curries?
Yes! Fuck! You've been bringing me a lot of them! I'm tired of it!
It hasn't been that many, has it? Maybe a dozen?
A dozen is a lot! A dozen is a concerning number of cats! I don't have anything about curry! Ah!
It's not like I've been bringing full portions of each, just a couple of bites at best.
Yes, all of them with beef and vegetables. It still winds up being a lot.
Well, curry is your favorite food, no?
Again, not my point. Are you not tired of this by now? It has to be a ton of work.
Nah, don't worry about it. I'm happy to do it.
Oh my... Fuck. I feel like we're not connecting properly here.
Anyway, I only really have two this time.
Oh, wait, really? That's much more manageable.
How many was Yuichi bringing last time? I was running out of ideas, but I got some help. It's a bit of a Hail Mary, but hopefully it works.
Very well, that's not so bad in that case.
I know I should be perhaps a bit more understanding of how Keisuke is under a lot of pressure and stop pestering him every day for lunch, but I don't have it in me to not hover. At least this way I can ensure he's eating properly and taking breaks. Or break, singular. What about you? Are you doing okay? You've been getting some sleep, haven't you?
Of course. Look at my face, my beautiful face. Do I look like someone who's been missing out on sleep?
I guess not.
Good. Fucking idiot.
Satisfied with his answer, I place the food I brought on the table and unpack it, placing our individual portions on each in front of us.
That looks like a lot more food than the last few times.
It's more per container since I made bigger batches, but I only made 2 types this time, so it's still less than before.
You do realize I also have my own lunch, right? The one that is made for me every single day?
That's okay, you can have both. I didn't make that much.
I swear to God, fucking idiot, not a single brain between his eyes.
You can mutter and mumble as much as you want, but I am not stupid. I've already picked up on the fact that you've had your lunches made much lighter recently. And while, great, I can understand your appetite is probably shot to hell from all the stress, I am not going to sit around and watch you eat those tiny lunches full of just leafy greens and stuff that are probably less than 300 calories in total, like you're some kind of rabbit! Or, well, I guess you kind of, sort of are, but that's not the point! Even if you're not currently going to practice, unless you're chugging straight up oil once you get home, there's no way you're getting enough calories to even maintain your current weight. Oh god, that mental image is stuck in my head. Just Keisuke walks in, walks into the kitchen, grabs a bottle of oil, unscrews it, just pops into his mouth and proceeds to drink it all the way up to his bedroom. That mental image is stuck in my head, and now it's stuck in your head. Congratulations. So yes, while I might be against force feeding as a general rule of thumb, I will make sure you're taking care of your nutrition. Okay, so I was suggested this specific brand here. I made it for you before, and I remember it being one of your least favorites, but there was this woman at the supermarket who talked to me and gave me some suggestions on how moms usually tweak it. Since it was her mom that made it for you, I thought that maybe another mom that had experience using it might help.
You approached a random woman at a supermarket to ask her how she makes her curry.
What? No, I didn't. She came to me and started talking to me. The conversation just shifted to that.
Okay, I suppose it's not weird. Maybe, why are there two then?
Keisuke looks at the two small containers of curry each on with about a quarter of a serving in total. And next to them, the container of rice I brought for him. One was made with the exact instructions and measurements she gave me. The other, I did some changes to make it taste better, at least to my tastes. Granted, I'm not sure if I made it better so much as I made it different. Her instructions actually made for some really tasty curry, not the best I've ever had, but if it's something I grew up with, I'd be super nostalgic for it.
That makes sense. I will say the color on the left is promising.
Keisuke mumbles, taking off the lid and grabbing the plastic spoon I handed him to try a bite. Overall looking quite unenthused, not that I can blame him. That's the one I made according to her instructions. For the one I tweaked, I pureed the whole apple instead of keeping half of it intact, since the texture of apple and curry felt weird to me. I also added less ketchup, both of which have a huge effect on the color. The apples in general lighten up the curry a bit, so pureeing all of it makes it both smoother due to lack of apple chunks as well as lighter. And ketchup is usually strongly pigmented and dark, so it gives the curry a redder color. This box usually makes a very pale and somewhat loose curry, so the difference is quite drastic. Even I was surprised. Yummy oil. Even if the one on the left triggered some kind of memory that makes him think it's closer to how he used to have it, then might give me a path into further tweaks so I can get closer to the recipe his mom used to make. After all, for as helpful as that lady was, I sincerely doubt she would have given me the... Huh? What?
This is it?
For real?
My memories might not be the best go by, but yes, I believe so.
Are you serious? Are you fucking serious? Wait. I was all prepared and fired up again to try and figure out what tweaks his mom might have made to the recipe, and you're telling me that random lady at the supermarket hit the nail on the head. Is this a joke? You're telling me this is it? For real? Just like that? Oh my god, Yuichi, you dumb fucking idiot. That was his mother. Jesus Christ. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. Yuichi met Keisuke's mother. They're not even trying to hide it. Like, at this point, they're just like on the rooftops, screaming at the top of their lungs, "This is your boyfriend's mother!" At this point, they're just screaming it. Oh my god. Where's the dumbass cone? Where's the cone of being a dumbass? Because Yuichi needs it right now. Jesus Christ. She was dropping hints! It does not take that much thought, but apparently Yuichi doesn't have it. First off, was she not a hare? Or like a rabbit or something? I don't know, I'm thinking of that one bitch from Beastars. Thinking of that one bitch from Beastars. Was she not that? Her recipe is what Keisuke remembers. And she hasn't seen him in years. Which she has stated multiple times. And she also used to make that recipe for her son. Granted, yeah, this is Yuichi that we're talking about, and also I am giving Keisuke a voice that does not accurately reflect what he actually probably sounds like. Because doesn't he have, like, a deep voice, and I'm giving him the fucking nerd voice? Is this a joke? You're telling me this is it. For real, just like that. Holy shit, what even are the odds? I can't tell whether to feel excited or underwhelmed right now. What the hell? Keisuke seems to immediately tune me out, happily pouring the rest of the curry over the rice and eating it with a smile on his face. Ah, what the hell, this is the exact view I wanted to see, so even if I'm a little miffed at how I got here, I'm happy to see the result. You seem to really enjoy it.
It's so good!
I believe you! Just please don't chew and talk at the same time. This is both adorable and also a little bit disturbing. Keisuke isn't usually the type to make faces like that, so he has a deep voice canonically, but the nerdy one is so familiar to us that it'd sound weird if I changed it at this point. Isn't this like part 103 or something? That's like 100 hours. That is over 100 hours of the nerd voice. You know what? I'm gonna change it just to piss people off. Keisuke isn't usually the type to make faces like that so openly. It's actually freaking me out a little bit. In a good way, but still. But holy hell, I did that? Moment for me. That was so good. No. No, I am never doing that again. I tried it. No. I'm sorry, it does not fit him. That voice does not fit him. Granted, I probably accidentally, I don't know. It is way too late to go back.
That was so good!
The hare inhales the whole container of curry and rice with no breaks to speak, and I just watch him with an amazed smirk while picking up my own food. When he's finished and finally sets down on the table, however, he looks at his own lunchbox with a grimace, staring at it intently for several seconds before finally pushing it away. Not gonna eat your own food?
I'd rather not. I'd prefer to finish my meal on a high note, even if isn't as much of it. I kind of wish there had been a bit more.
Is this where I bring up the fact you were chastising me for making too much not 5 minutes ago?
But listen! I didn't expect you to replicate it so perfectly, I couldn't stop myself. It was too much food for me to eat along with my own lunch, but all on its own, it's more like an appetizer.
Yeah, I want to disagree with that because most of his food is salad with a little bit of nuts and small pieces of meat. But it's not exactly the most filling or calorie-dense thing. You just had no appetite lately. It's at least a good third of the reason I've been so worried. Does that mean you'd like me to make some more for next time?
I wouldn't mind that. Although summer vacation starts tomorrow, so it's not as if there would be an opportunity for it anytime soon.
Oh yeah, there's that. I usually hate that they make us come here on a Monday just to give us the rest of the week off starting tomorrow. But I was so focused on getting that info so I could pour over this pet project of mine during summer break that I totally forgot to be mad. And I guess this does free a lot of time for me over the coming weeks since I won't be cooking and experimenting with recipes. But it sounded like a lot of fun, and I'm a bit bummed out I won't get to do it anymore. Now Keisuke would much appreciate me going, I want to improve your mom's recipe! Either, so I'm not touching that.
At least there's an end in sight for all this.
You mean work will lighten up soon?
Maybe not work lightening up as much as not having to come to school every day will get me more time to do stuff and learn my own workflow.
Keisuke. That sounds horrid.
I know, but it's not forever. Once I learn how to do it all, I won't struggle as much. Trying to adjust something I've never done before, especially when it involves so much paperwork and data that needs to be dealt with and processed in a very specific way, is bound to be very difficult to learn. Something that takes me a few hours to figure out could be dealt with in a matter of minutes once I know what to do.
Isn't that why people in your position hire assistants and, I don't know, accountants or something? I have no clue exactly what you're needing right now.
Yeah, no, I'm not trusting anyone new at this.
But
Yuichi-san, I really don't want to have this conversation with you as well, please.
no.
I...
I'm not playing that game with you.
Game? What are you talking about?
Look, obviously I don't have the right to strong-arm you into doing something you clearly don't want to do. No one does. But neither do you have the right to just shut me down without hearing what I have to say, especially when it's about something that's clearly doing you harm.
That's not what I'm doing.
You literally cut me off before I could get a word in not a minute ago. I get that there are things you don't want to talk about. Knowing you and the company you keep, I'm guessing Alexander has been bringing this topic up a lot and you're fed up with it.
But how did you know?
How wouldn't I know? Do you think I've been hanging around you all the time as a set dressing? I have eyes. You two have that weird, not quite boss and subordinate, not quite siblings relationship going on, so he'll nag you about stuff, but you'll shut him down if you don't want to hear it, and things will be left as they are. I'm not doing that. You're not my boss. We're equals in this relationship. So, yeah, you will hear what I have to say at least once, and we will have an actual conversation about it. That's non-negotiable here. Fuck. The anxiety. It's like right here. It's like up here. The anxiety is really fucking high right now. Keisuke's eyes seem to glaze over and he regards me carefully, staying silent for what feels like an agonizingly long time. I know I'm being pushy and annoying, but I also worry that if I chicken out, he'll keep going like this until he flames out entirely. Maybe bite my tongue if there was an actual end in sight. When his solution is I'll eventually learn to manage this new level of suffering, I just can't take that lying down. Of course, I don't know how Keisuke will take it either, so seeing him stare at me with those bright blue eyes let nothing on is painful.
Damn, okay.
Really?
You're the one who said all that just now. Don't act so surprised when I go along with it. Tend to shoulder everything on my own, and I'm unwilling to listen to others when it comes to the few things I have control over. It's a bad habit I struggle to break. And I also know you hate to feel like you're being left out of decisions when they are to do with my life, or our relationship. I can tell you've been trying your best to be a better communicator, and how hard you took it on yourself when you did that. So I also recognize that I need to do my best to not leave you out of the equation.
Oh, I wasn't thinking about all that at all. I guess this is part of a pattern, but none of that was going through my mind. Sure, I've been frustrated at him walling me off, but I can understand why I'd think of that. I try not to think on it too much because it's uncomfortable and makes me feel awful to think I'd be capable of going that far. I really have to put in a lot of effort to make sure nothing like that ever happens again. But he's the one who went through it. I'm sure it's a lot harder for him to not think of it. I did tell him it's not something he should just accept or forgive me for so easily, as if it's normal to do. You're very kind to talk too vaguely about it.
Well, it's not like I'm trying to make you feel bad about it or anything. I simply wanted to explain my thought process. Did it not get across?
Nah, it's okay. It's not something I should forget. I appreciate you putting so much thought into this, but I didn't really think about it that deeply. I just don't like it when you don't take care of yourself. That's all there is to it. If there's something I can do to help, then I'll do everything I can, but if there isn't, and there's a way you can help yourself, I will make you at least consider it.
Fair enough. I suppose this much is part of and parcel of being in a, you know.
Yeah. So I have to put up more of a fight, so it's a relief that he's being so reasonable about it. Keisuke's always has been the reasonable sort for starters. That's part of why it's so infuriating when he acts weirdly stubborn when it comes to anything tangentially related to his family. At least he's opening up to me a little more if he's actually willing to consider my input. Not that it's any guarantee I'll manage to change his mind. I'll do my best to have a calm conversation about it, but I need to prepare myself to let it go if I can't convince him. Keep badgering him about this, it'll only cause more damage to our relationship, and I don't want that. I don't want him to avoid me because he thinks of me as someone that causes him stress. I want him to come to me when he needs support. Being a good boyfriend is so exhausting. Yeah, say that to Shoichi. The whole, I'm trying to remember what that situation was, but it was bad. It was really bad. Being a good boyfriend is so exhausting. Well, if you're really going to hear me out, then...
Actually, is it okay if we go over this later?
Huh?
I'm not trying to keep you from talking or anything, I get it, but I do intend to hear you out. It's just... I'm really tired right now. I'm struggling to make it to the end of the day as it is. Maybe talk about this when I've had some rest.
Okay, and when exactly would that be?
Not too sure. Definitely sometime this week. Like I said, I have a little more breathing room and during summer break, so I'll let you know when we can meet up and talk some more.
And this really isn't some stall tactic or anything.
I promise you it isn't.
Alright, I can do that much. It's not like I plan to be here for the entirety of our lunch break. And I've been making an effort to check up on him and making sure he eats, but also giving him space so he can work or take a breather. Probably better that we not get into it right now, as much as I hate to admit it. When is that first board meeting you're supposed to take part in?
The 7th, I think? Don't quite recall right now, so I'll have to check. I've had to memorize a lot of things, so my mind is elsewhere at the moment.
That's okay, no worries. Still, do you think we can talk before then, or should I not hold my breath?
No, we'll meet before then, definitely. I just need some rest. I won't have class starting tomorrow, so I'll sleep in a little, and I should be feeling much better by the 2nd or 3rd of the month. I'll message you tomorrow so we can schedule something.
I would appreciate that. Having an actual conversation is way better. I don't want to end up in some kind of situation where I'm in a relationship with his voicemail. Keisuke is clearly overwhelmed, so I want to be as understanding as possible, without royally suck.
I'm sorry, I know I haven't exactly been the most available lately. I appreciate the patience.
Of course, it's what I'm here for.
Perhaps, but I'm sure there are about a million other things you'd rather do instead of this.
I haven't exactly counted them, but that does sound about right.
Cute.
Like I said, I should probably finish up my food and get going. I imagine the moment I'm gone, you're going to start chipping away at some more work.
That's true. Mostly studying up on our business for the meeting. I've been given the docket for it, but I wouldn't put it past anyone to throw some unexpected topic in to fluster me on my first day.
The hell kind of environment is that supposed to be?
It's board of directors run by my family. You're right on the money with hell.
That is still a large multinational corporation with, I assume, lots of different people on its board. And surely they have some level of professionalism if they managed to get to this point, no? Aren't you exaggerating a little bit? I know most of your interactions with them were pretty bad, to a level I struggle to even comprehend, but maybe they've primed you to expect the worst to an unreasonable degree? I don't know, I'm not a therapist, I just know that this all seems a tad excessive. Though I should be supportive, so I'll bite my tongue here. There's nothing to be gained from arguing with him over this. All I'd be doing is making him spend what precious little energy he has trying to prove me wrong. Fair point. So you've been memorizing stuff?
Graphs, charts, market trends, projections, profit margins, shareholder feedback, there's quite a lot. Our company operates in way too many market segments.
No kidding. I seen an Urushihara Corporation robot vacuum ad a few weeks ago.
Oh god, home automation, I forgot about that one.
Who said that?
Shit! I need to talk to Alex to compile some information for me on that one. I don't think they're listed alongside home appliances.
Dear Lord, what have I done? This might be a bit late to say this, but please don't go into tailspin over.
Tailspin? Right. With the world economy going into a huge recession late last year, the stock market entered a tailspin, and some of our segments are still reeling from it. I should probably brush up on that too. I wonder if there's any information on the recovery of our Chinese factories. So I can't say anything anymore? I want to comfort you, but it seems anything I say runs a risk of causing an adverse reaction at this point. Damn. Damn. Keisuke really said nuh-uh. Maybe I should just go. Huh? No thanks, I'm good. I got it later.
Like, he looked so happy. And that. Hang on, let me just show it to you all at home. Control Z. Gotta go all the way down here because it's great. It's fucking beautiful. Like, damn. Just... Damn! Yeah, I'm going now. Quickly grab my things while Keisuke's still mumbling to himself. Not bother to unpack it anywhere as neatly as I had initially. Only to get out as soon as possible so I don't cause a total meltdown. Which I'm sure if I said that, it would somehow turn him into complaining about some kind of factory meltdown at this point.
You're going already?
Yeah, you seem to have a lot on your mind, and I don't need to add to it.
Sorry, my train of thought has been quite jumbled as of late. And I suppose I've been a little spacey as well.
You think? I seriously hope you get some proper sleep soon.
Don't worry, I will.
The fact he's not going out of his way to pretend he's fully rested anymore probably should have been my first clue as to how bad the situation was now that I think of it. A bit late to realize, though. I know I can be dense, but I'm actually kind of kicking myself for this one. Come on, Yuichi, you're better than this. Bye-bye, I'll check on you tomorrow. Maybe you can come over in a few days, and I'll make you some more of that curry you liked.
I would genuinely love that. I'd be looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to talking to you when you're a little less deliriously out of it, personally. I quickly make my exit, leaving my boyfriend to his own devices. Given how he seemed to be losing it a little bit, I'm sure he needs the space. I was worried before, but now I'm really worried. If today weren't already the last day of class, I'd be getting on his ass to skip tomorrow so we can actually sleep. I'd even push aside my unease talking to Alexander and ask him to keep Keisuke home as a favor. I don't be very inclined to do me any favors, but there's no way he isn't at least as worried as I am. How protective he is of him, he's probably already been losing his mind lately. Maybe I should talk to him soon. There's a scenario where he isn't part of Keisuke's life in the long term at this point. Even if he doesn't trust me anymore, we'll probably have to figure out a way to exist around each other. Unless he manages to make me disappear, that is. Wait, no, that's a haunting thought. I shouldn't have thought of that even as a joke. I'm actually worried about it. Just another example of how my brain isn't my friend most days. Anyway, I quickly shake my head to try to shake off the weird energy and step into my room. Can't let my face show how I'm feeling. I already tend to field a few questions about how Keisuke is doing when I get back. If I look or act uneasy, they'll catch on real fast, especially Saya. Quickly spot the usual suspects in the middle of the room, seemingly lively conversation, and I reflectively smile at the sight of them. Shoichi seems to be the first to spot me, what with his chair leaving him facing the door, and I see him sit up straight in real time. Following his gaze, Saya-chan and Jun also look back, spotting me as well. While the tiger smiles and waves at me, Saya looks at Shoichi again before regarding me with a quick nod. Do you see why I love Jun? Look at that! Oh my god! I just want to play with his ears and kiss him. If not friend, why friend-shaped? Oh my god, he is so cute. Like, I would legitimately not even... I'm not even joking when I say this. I would legitimately do anything for him. I would do anything for him. We gotta get him Kingdom Hearts 4 when it comes out. Hell, I gotta get me Kingdom Hearts 4 when it comes out. That's definitely a red flag, right? They've been kind of distant lately, but I assumed it was because they were overwhelmed with the pre-vacation schedule. Things tend to get a lot busier right before we go on break, so it made sense to me that they'd be low energy. Seeing the flip from happy and cheerful to tense and weird in real time makes me actually worry it might be about me. Did I do something wrong? Hey guys, what's with the weird energy? Weird? There's nothing weird. No one's being weird here, right? I really don't think I'm who you want to be asking that. What's going on? Why did you guys clam up the second I walked in? It's nothing really. We just didn't expect you back so soon. Is everything okay with K-kun? Huh? Yeah, he's fine. Seriously though, what's going on? Why are you guys being all hush-hush? Is there something I'm not supposed to know? It's not a big deal. We weren't talking about anything in particular. Okay. Why the weird vibe then? It's just, a bit awkward. Awkward? What's awkward? It's not what it's more like. God, how do I explain this? I don't let up the pressure despite Saya and Shoichi wiggling around uncomfortably in their seats. If anything, their weird reactions only make me more and more sure that there's something going on. Wow, this is painful to watch. Jun, whether obliviously or intentionally, cuts through the atmosphere right away with a short but effective remark. Well, yeah, but Yuichi-kun, whether there really is something going on or not, don't you think forcing them to talk about it isn't the right approach? Forcing? That's not what I... Actually, no, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm frustrated about Keisuke not telling me stuff, so when I saw these two doing the same, I jumped to trying to make them talk, because I know I could pressure them to. Even I have things to ask either one of them that I don't tell the other about. The three of us might be best friends, but it doesn't mean there are absolutely no secrets between us. I have things I talk to Sai about that I don't want Shoichi to know about, and I have things I talk to Shoichi that are the same. I'm being unfair here. Sorry, I've been a little touchy lately. No, you're fine. I'm just not ready to talk about this yet. Hopefully soon? Yeah, hopefully. Should I go or something? What? No, don't be crazy! I do feel a little awkward, but it's fine. Plus, we are worried about Urushihara, so maybe tell us how he's doing and all that? I mean, don't feel the need to, like, too detailed, and you twos, you know anything. You know anything. For his privacy sake and all that is, you get it, right? Oh boy. Okay, well, he seems to be doing, actually, no, that would be a lie. The situation is pretty dire. He's so overworked and short on sleep that he can't think straight. We did promise he would sleep in tomorrow and cash out on some extra sleep, so I'll see how that goes. Yikes, it's gone that bad. Yeah, he promised that we'd have an actual conversation about figuring out ways to lighten up his workload, because his kind of schedule isn't sustainable. No kidding, I'm used to doing paperwork and stuff. For what little I've heard, this does sound excessive. The fact that you, of all people, are saying this just makes me even more sure of how terrible the situation is. Do keep in mind I'm basing my opinion on what you've told us. I haven't seen what the work he's dealing with is. It says something about it being market trend charts, graph projections. I don't understand all of it, but it seems like he's pretty much memorizing all there is to know about every market segment his company has a hand in. Are you serious? That's way too much. The Urushihara Corporation makes pretty much everything. Phones, TVs, sound systems, washing machines, refrigerators, you name it. If it's tech, they're probably making at least some part of it. Is the Urushihara Corporation just fucking Sony? Is it just Sony? Or, actually, no, it wouldn't be Samsung. That's weird. They're just Sony. That's literally Sony. Phones? Sony makes those. Everything! They're literally Sony! Like, oh my god, I sure can't wait to use my Urushihara phone to connect to my Urushihara refrigerator in order to use my Urushihara sound system. Actually, it's closer to Samsung. But you get the point! Yes, PlayStation is part of Sony. Just watch. It's not called the PlayStation 5. They're not making PS5s. They're probably making a fucking gay station 69 or some shit. Fuck. But I don't think it's Sony. I think it's fucking Samsung. It's literally Samsung. I was wrong. It's not Sony. It's Samsung. They are literally Samsung. Yeah. All the stuff in my house is pretty old, but even the TV in my bedroom is made by them. There's no way a person could memorize all of that. And I doubt anyone in the company has. Don't they all just keep reference materials on hand if they need to look up the information during a meeting? Try telling him that. He's convinced he'll pull out some big gotcha or something on him during his first meeting and is trying to prepare for every single possible scenario. Well, seriously. I'm not saying it's good or even rational, but there is a history there of rug pulling. Can you say with absolute certainty that they wouldn't? Ugh, no, I can't, especially with everything that I know. Shuichi is saying this without even knowing all the crap Keisuke's gone through recently. I'm sure I don't have the whole picture either, but it's nowhere near as rosy as I used to think. Man, why must his family operate more like a business than an actual family? Obligations this, breeding that, it pisses me off. Sure, they have more money than God, or that I could even fathom ever earning, but does that really mean everything should revolve around making more of it? I don't understand it. You know, right there, man? You have a really sad look on your face all of a sudden. Yeah, I'm fine, just worried about him. I get that, but if you keep obsessing over things you can't do anything about, you'll drive yourself crazy. Ha! Takes one to know one. I'm not obsessing. You've cooked him a month's supply of curry just in the last week so you can figure out which one is his favorite. It's not which one is his favorite, it's which one he grew up with. And I didn't buy that many, just a dozen boxes or so, maybe, probably. Sure, you're absolutely right, my mistake. You're overcompensating a little bit. Yeah, whatever. It's not like there's anything else I can do. I can't help him with this paperwork, nor do I know where to even find someone who can. And I sure as hell can't make his family magically suck less, but I can make him curry. I get that. No one's saying it's not a nice thing to do, but so maybe don't try to argue that you're not obsessing. Yeah, well, sue me. I obsess. It's in my nature, too. Trust me. We're aware. It's nice. It shows you care. It also is a little bit worrying, though. You're not exactly the best at taking care of yourself when you get like this. I'm fine. I'm not the one that's missing out on sleep. Besides, that little project is over anyway. Over? What do you mean over? I found it. His mom's recipe, that is. I got confirmation today. There's a simultaneous gasp across the table, and the three of them stare at me, wide-eyed and slack-jawed, their sheer disbelief mirroring my own from only 10 or so minutes ago. Huh? There's no way. Already? Yeah, you're right. I had more or less brushed it off as being a fun coincidence and not a big deal in the grand scheme of things since it made Keisuke happy. But it is ridiculous that I already got it, isn't it? Recipes tend to be so varied and personal, and even 1 minute can change even 1 minute change can completely alter the taste of something. The fact I got it exactly in less than a week is just insane. It wasn't even from my own experimentation. I just had it handed to me by an unrelated woman in the supermarket. Like, that is fucked! What even are the odds of that? No, seriously though, you actually did it? Like, what? Pretty much every family has their own way of making curry. Hell, my parents had corn and peas to ours. No friend whose family mixes in cheese and serves it with udon instead of rice. I honestly didn't think anything would come of this. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Oh my god, is he finally gonna realize? Sure, you're absolutely right. The odds were stupid low. But you didn't have to actually say it. Your family is still insane by that, by the way. Leave us be. It's delicious. You don't get the vision. That's it. Yeah, I find that hard to believe, too. Sure you didn't just say you got it right so you'd stop worrying about him and bringing him curry every day? That sounds like something Urushihara would do. Normally, I'd think that, too. But you didn't see his reaction. His whole body language changed in a second. You can't fake that. He was legit shook. Damn, I don't know what to say. Figured you'd get there eventually, if only because you can be pretty damn obsessive about this kind of thing sometimes. And I was sure you'd try hundreds of variations before getting sick of it, but a week is definitely a record. Good job? Saya-chan nods along with him, probably hoping I'd forget the part where she said she didn't think I'd managed to figure out the recipe just now. At least June seems to be genuinely happy for me. He's been cheering me on for the past few days, so I'm not surprised, but it's still nice to see. Unfortunately, can't even feel happy about it. Didn't really do it myself. What's that supposed to mean? I mentioned it to June earlier, but when I was out of ideas at the grocery store and wondering if I should start tweaking recipes instead of trying different boxes of curry as is, this lady struck a conversation with me and ended up telling me how she made curry for her own kid. Turns out her tweaks were the exact recipe. Huh? Pardon, it was what? Oh my god! Oh my god. Yuichi. They're not even screaming it at the rooftops anymore. They're fucking using a megaphone, screaming it in your ear hole. Pardon, it was what? You're joking. I really wish I was, to be honest. I feel pretty damn useless that a stranger managed to guess at the recipe before I could. How does that even happen? How does a total stranger not only randomly approach you at the store, but someone gives you the exact recipe? That's hard to believe. Come to think of it, yeah, that's kind of a stretch. Oh my god, not even they know. Oh my, not even they know. They're the smart ones in this friendship. They're the smart ones. Oh my god. Yeah, that's kind of a stretch. I don't know what to say. Again, I wouldn't believe it either if it didn't happen. How did that even come to pass? What do you mean? I mean, how did this woman even approach you in the first place? Oh, she said she noticed me staring at the shelves for a long time and stuff and approached me to ask what I was doing because she was curious. To be honest, I think she was just bored, and with me pacing around that aisle and mumbling to myself for a while, probably figured she could get some gossip or something. I do not believe that for a second. I agree, it's a wild coincidence, but it's literally what happened. Oh my god, that was Keisuke's mom! I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it doesn't pass the sniff test. The what? She means the odds of a random stranger who knows the exact recipe you're trying to find on the exact same store as you at the same time approaching you for no reason, starting a conversation that leads into that exact topic and then giving you the recipe are so astronomically small it borders on insanity. Yeah, that. Yeah, well, I don't know what to tell you. That's... You guys don't think it was a spy, do you? What? That's not exactly what I was applying, but I guess it's not that far off. I just figured it might have been someone who works for the family that approached you while pretending it was a coincidence. Oh, yeah, I guess it makes more sense. Spies would have been a more exciting thought. Come on, there's no... Wait. Hang on, I actually can't say that, can I? Shit. I hate that I can't really discard that idea right out the gate. It's happened before, hasn't it? Keisuke's mentioned that he has people who work for the company following him most places to keep him safe if he's not with Alexander. And I have run into that former butler of his at least once. Holy shit, could it actually be? That would be insane, though. Way to make a guy paranoid. Oh my god. He was so close. He was so close! But instead of following the road, he decided to hard right directly into the ditch. Oh my god. He's a fucking idiot. Like, I hate to say it, because, you know, he's a protagonist, but damn! He's a fucking idiot! Way to make a guy paranoid. I don't know, call me crazy if you will, but it sounds like too perfect a coincidence to be true. Yeah, I agree. Now that you're making me think about it, I agree too. It's just, I rather wish I hadn't thought of it. Now I'm going to be looking over my shoulder and constantly wondering if I'm being watched. That's a very unsettling feeling. Maybe I should bring that up to him later. I did tell him I suggested this recipe, but I guess I didn't give him all the details. Plus, he was probably too fried to even think of it anyway. You know for a fact that if this was anyone else, he'd be like, that's it. That's what it is. And it's correct. But the nanosecond, and not even nanosecond, the fucking picosecond, that it's him. Oh my god. He is an idiot. At the very least, if I tell him about it and he doesn't seem worried, I can immediately expel that concern from my mind. Just one more thing to talk about when we meet up later, I guess. I'll keep that in mind, I guess. It's hard to say I'll keep a lookout for potential spies without sounding crazy, though. Ooh. Not spies. Stop making it sound more nefarious than it is. Furry. Their job involves tailing an unsuspecting person and reporting on everything they do. Isn't that basically spying? Less infiltration involved and nowhere near as glamorous as someone stealing Slate's secrets and having steamy love affairs and stuff like that in the movies. But that's a form of spying. Enough to make me uncomfortable, that is. If I'm allowed to be honest, even if that were the case, I doubt you being on the lookout for it would make much of a difference. There's no way someone who skulks around and stuff as their day job would be caught by some 18-year-old dude, and Yuichi-kun isn't exactly the most attentive person most of the time, no offense. None taken. You're not wrong. What are you gonna do? Talk to Keisuke, I guess? Don't know exactly when, but we did make plans to meet up next week to talk stuff through. Might just be another point to add to the list. Probably invite him over, give him a break from his family, and use it as an opportunity to make him some more of the curry he likes. You guys should have seen the look on his face when he tried. It makes me smile just remembering. That's great. I'm happy for you. Part of me thought you'd be single forever, what with how picky you used to be. Yeah, I kind of wish I realized why that is sooner. Would have made life a lot easier. Sure would have. Are you Hey, Yuichi-san, I have a question. June, who'd been mostly quiet other than chiming in with a comment here and there, asked for my attention. Snapping me out of my thought process. When I turned to look at him, he's leaning forward on his seat, looking right at me. What's up? What are you going to do about your vacation plans now? Have you given it any thought? Oh, Shoichi is not taking this well. What do you mean? Well, you said figuring out that recipe was your project during it, right? But you got it down before it even started. Doesn't that mean your schedule is suddenly wide open? Ooh, yeah, that's true. I know it only happened a few minutes ago and all, but isn't it kind of a big deal? You'll be graduating this year, and you plan on going out of the country after, don't you? Is it really okay for you to not have plans? That's a good point. I did plan on hanging out with you guys and practicing whenever possible, but this is also a big part of it. Huh, trying to figure something out will probably take me a bit. I'm drawing a blank. I myself will be going to a bunch of competitions. Though I want to have free time to hang out too. I do need to brush up on my language skills though. Probably not yet at the level I need to be if I'm to move away. Be one thing if my German were bad, but my English was decent, since it's a big... If my German were bad, but my English was decent. Since it's a big city I'd be moving to if I get accepted at all. But they're both pretty bad, if I'm being honest. As much as I hate studying, I really need to buckle down and get it done. That's pretty dire. You sure you're not going to need a tutor? Where am I going to find a German tutor of all things, especially one I can afford? Not to take advantage or anything, but couldn't Urushihara help with that? Maybe not so much the affording it part, but he can speak a bunch of languages himself, can't he? Probably knows a bunch of people. He can't really speak a bunch. I think it's just Japanese, English, and French that he's fluent in, but yeah, I guess he knows enough to read a few others. See? Problem solved. But hang on a second, I didn't say I agreed to this. Why not? It's not like I could be asking him to provide June with lessons for free or anything, but surely finding someone who can tutor him in English and German wouldn't be tough for him. Do you think they give me a discount if it's the same person teaching both? Probably not. Dang. If anything, I think someone knowledgeable enough to teach multiple languages would probably cost extra. No thanks! I'm good with being two different people! I won't have that much free time, but I could help you a little bit with English. Free of charge, that is. Ooh, me too, me too! Well, I guess none of us is that great at speaking it, so I suppose if we're focused mostly on grammar and stuff, it would be fine. What are you implying? Come on, you're good at memorizing rules and use cases and whatnot, but you can't actually speak any English. So? I can make do! Oh no, canonically they're all speaking Japanese. However, it's translated for us so we actually know what's going on. Because I don't know how to speak Japanese. I don't know how to read Japanese. I can barely understand Spanish. And that's mostly from context clues on what's going on. So, I can make do. Junku needs to actually learn to speak it, or at least understand it enough that he can use it to communicate when he can't understand the German. Kind of memorization used for tests isn't going to cut it. Boo! You can't speak English, Mizuguchi-san? Thought you could based on your grades. No, I'm still pretty bad at it, though. Kaito-kun has been helping me a bunch whenever I have questions and stuff. We try talking in English for at least a little bit whenever we get on calls together. Define a little bit. Maybe 5 minutes. Saya-chan. Shut up! I can kind of understand what he's saying, but I can't come up with the words to respond and get frustrated. Yep, I can see that happening. Morisaki-senpai's always had a soft spot for Saya-chan. Wouldn't be surprised if she found it cute. Man seemed to find everything she did cute. She could be throwing a tantrum and he'd be looking at her with hearts in his eyes. They were sweet when they were together, but in a disgustingly cute couple kind of way. Couldn't be me, but I also have to respect it. The man knows what he likes. Either way, yeah, I can talk to Keisuke about that, so long as you're not expecting him to pay for a tutor for you. Then it shouldn't be too much trouble. He probably knows someone already. Of course, I would never expect him to. I wouldn't let him in the first place, even if he offered. But I seriously doubt I could afford any tutor that would work for him. That's a good point. Do you even have a budget for what you could afford? I'll have to ask my parents. That reminds me, we've been assigned a fair bit of homework to get through during summer break. Would we be okay with it? I am not sure. Could I maybe ask for help with it? Yeah, sure. The three of us usually take at least a couple days to work on stuff together every year. It's mostly the same stuff even when we're in separate classes. Really? Well, yeah, we're in the same grade and have been in the same school since we were kids. Why wouldn't we? We meet up all the time anyway, and Sai and I tended to tutor Shoichi quite a lot growing up. Doing stuff together makes it go faster. Thankfully, I've managed to mostly catch up and don't need tutoring anymore nowadays. You still go to cram school twice a week, though. That's more out of obligation than anything. I can manage just fine with self-study, but my dad didn't want the risk. Especially during senior year. Just having good grades isn't enough to get into Tokyo University, or something comparable. Your dad sure has high expectations of you, huh? Yeah, it's a thing, but it should loosen up once I get into university. You still get a great education at Todai, so I shouldn't complain. Hey, and Todai has a great collegiate level volleyball team. You can keep playing there. I don't know about that, but I haven't even touched a ball since the week after the last tournament. By the time I get to university and manage to get settled, it'll be too long of a blank period. Do you have a point to keep going then? What? Isn't the point that you enjoy it? Do you need any other reason to do something? That's a nice sentiment, but volleyball is just a hobby that keeps me active, really. I could just as easily go to the gym more often and achieve the same result. Easier to manage hours, too. Either way, so long as I can have some level of physical activity, I'll be fine. Are you sure about that? Seriously, it's fine. I know tennis and piano are your guys' lives, but not everyone is like that. For some people, hobbies really are just hobbies. It's alright, promise. This is where I would usually pick a fight with him, but we've had the same song and dance a few times by now. I already know it wouldn't lead me anywhere. Besides, Shoichi has started respecting my own feelings on not pursuing higher education and not pushing me on it, so I should reciprocate the favor. He's right, just because I struggle to believe that to be true doesn't mean it isn't. If he says that's how he really feels, who am I to argue? In fact, I know if I were in his shoes, I'd be really fucking pissed if someone kept saying I'm lying about my feelings. Plus, I have bigger problems to tackle as of late. Gotta prioritize. He's not my boyfriend. I don't have the right to stick my nose in his business. Probably shouldn't say that out loud, though. I don't think a straight guy would appreciate the mere suggestion of being with another guy. Might be accepting of being Keisuke, but that's not the same as being okay if someone were to assume you are, too. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Yuichi, you idiot. At least I'm sure I'd been pretty defensive if someone suggested that about me before. Granted, in my case, it wasn't really straight after all, but from my understanding, the general sentiment is the same. Otherwise, jokes about being gay and guys acting so offended by the idea of them being seen as gay wouldn't be a thing. You know you best, so if you're saying so, we can't really argue. Thank you, I appreciate that. So, if I'm allowed to double back on the conversation a little bit, does this mean we're going to be meeting up to study and stuff too? Sure, I planned on making some time for all of us to hang out, and of course you would be coming with us too if you're free, but yeah, we'll do our homework together too. I think Urushiharu's the only one who can't really join us for that, given his work is totally different from ours. To be fair, your homework is also different from ours since you're the only one in the college prep course. True, but in my case, it just means I have extra work on top of the usual homework. There's very little actually changed. It just goes more in depth, really. Yeah, and I've checked Shochan's homework before. It's not that hard. Something tells me studying with you guys will make me feel very inadequate. It won't be that bad, we'll help you out. Why do I have the feeling it won't be that easy? Thanks to June's intervention, the tense atmosphere is eventually dispelled, and the four of us spend what's left of recess talking over our summer plans and expectations for it. I do have a lot to think about, given a chunk of my plans got rendered redundant in a flash, but overall, I'm looking forward to it a little bit. If all works out, this will be my last summer in Japan. I have to make sure I enjoy it. Tomorrow, I'll reach out to Keisuke and see when we can meet up, but until then, I have some time. My first order of business should be figuring out what the fuck I want to do for the next month. Maybe I should get some input from Aki. Even Mom usually manages to get at least a few free days during the summer, so I'm sure we could do something together. And Aki in particular would appreciate that, I'm sure. August 4th. Hang on, how big is this update? Let me check. Because I didn't check. I thought it was just the day. Hang on. Yeah. Alright. Having finished setting up over an hour ago, I found myself watching TV while fidgeting, every now and again getting up from my seat to straighten something out or wipe something down. Usually I'd cook when I'm this anxious, but that ship has already sailed, and it's not like I have an excuse to make more food, so... Wiping it is, and fluffing the couch cushions, and maybe straightening up my shirt. Pretty sure that's already the third time you fluffed that. Is it? I haven't kept count! Are you okay? Isn't just Keisuke-san coming over? Why are you freaking out? I'm not freaking out, just a little bit of healthy nerves. If you say so. You're never this anxious when your girlfriends would come visit. That might be true, but I'd rather you not say that. I feel like an ass for how I treated them. Can't exactly blame them. You didn't know you liked girls back. You didn't know you didn't like girls back then, right? Or wait, do you not like girls, or is it that you like them less than guys? Or is it possible to like both? Oh, no. I didn't know I liked guys back then. And at least as far as I know, I really don't like girls, at least not like that. So you're gay? Yeah. I don't tend to use the word much to describe myself, but yeah. As embarrassing as it is, it does feel right. And Keisuke-san is gay too. Not exactly. He's bi. Really? Oh, so my friends were lying when they said it's possible to like both. What the fuck have you been talking to your friends about? Actually, no, I don't think I want to know. Yeah, it is. We've talked about it a few times before. I even know what his taste in women is, funnily enough. Does that make you anxious? Anxious? What about? Well, you know, that he might want to be with a girl someday. I have a lot of concerns, but this one doesn't even make the list. I just can't imagine Keisuke ever being the type to do something like that. Maybe he'll date a woman if we ever break up for some reason, but actively ending things because he wants to be with a girl instead? No, I don't see that happening. Plus, what good would it do me to worry about that? Not only would it probably be very hurtful for Keisuke to find out I have this little faith in him, but it's not like there's anything I can even do about it if it were true. I'm not a girl. There's no point in me worrying about the guy I'm dating wanting to be with a girl. It's not like I could magically grow breasts or anything like that. There you go. Just get a Kim Kardashian. And ta-da, problem solved. If anything, I'm more worried about him thinking I'm messy and not tidy than anything like that. That's good then. I didn't think Keisuke-san would ever be the type to do something like that either. Yeah, that's because I leaned forward. I'm like constantly changing how I sit. That is something that I do a lot whenever I'm sitting. Like, I'll constantly, like, change how I'm sitting. I can never sit like a normal fucking person. Then why ask me that in the first place? I'm gonna plant the worry in my brain or something? You guys seem to get along pretty well when he was staying here. I like him. Keisuke-san's pretty nice. We also have a few things in common since we're both smaller guys who aren't naturally that fit and play the same sport. Started looking up to him. I think he'd be a good model for me to base myself on. Is that so? I'm sure he'll be happy to hear that. Granted, I have to tamp down on the ugly jealousy threatening to rear its head and let myself be glad to hear this, since it's ultimately a good thing. I could do worse than my little brother liking and admiring my boyfriend. Them getting along well is already a huge relief to me. Means I'll have a bit more support when I invariably tell Mom about us, which I can't imagine going too well, given I basically brought him here to live with us for over a week without telling her we're dating. And I'm sure Keisuke can relate to Aki's struggles far more than I can, since I've always had a body that was most naturally suited for tennis. By the way, do you want me to make myself scarce when he comes over? Why do you ask? I don't know, you're all mopey for a while because Keisuke-san was busy. Then he started making curry like a madman, and now he's coming over. I think you might be looking forward to having some time alone together. Mom won't be home for a little while, so you'd have the house to yourself if I left. Not comfortable with the fact you're making those kinds of observations, even if it were true, which it definitely isn't. I don't want you implying that kind of thing. Has it been a while since Keisuke and I did stuff? Yeah, it has, but I'm not in a rush to do it again. My mind right now is on making sure he's okay and taking care of himself. Anything else can wait. Plus, I kind of had an idea for what my new summer project could be. And it's one that would also guarantee me more time with Keisuke if he agreed. So I also wanted to run that by him and see what he thinks. That won't be necessary, thank you very much. We'll just hang out and chat and stuff. Just hope you're not, upset if I give him a kiss or two every now and again. Personally, I think it's gross, but you do you. As long as you're not making out aggressively in front of me or anything. Otherwise, I'm going to grab a spray bottle. Gross! I didn't expect to hear that from you, of all people. Don't tell me that my little brother is... Of course it's gross. You're swapping spit with someone. Who in their right mind would want that? I feel weird when Mom kisses my cheek and I feel my fur being a little damp. Oh, that's what you meant. Right. You're not homophobic, you're just a child. I'm surprised. I know you're young and all, but have you not had a single crush so far? Could it be that he's a late bloomer like me? Sure, he's still pretty short and his voice is quite high, so I guess he is a late bloomer in a sense, but I figured surely at least a crush by now, right? Since I'm pretty sure the only reason I didn't have crushes is because I was so far in denial I couldn't notice him smacking me in the face. If I'd known except the fact that I was into guys, I would have probably noticed I was crushing much sooner. Wait, he hasn't started to feel that way yet, then there's no chance Aki could be the same as me, right? What? That's none of your business! Wait, with that reaction, could it be? Come on! You can talk to me, you know! That's not the point! Who asks someone that out of nowhere? An older brother? Come on, what is she like? Or, he? No judgment here. She's a girl, thank you very much. Just because you like guys doesn't mean I have to as well. God, I just want to make sure. I'll be embarrassed or ashamed of it. Don't worry, even if I were into guys, I wouldn't care. I'm not, though, so it's a moot point. Why is my little brother so much more comfortable with the idea of being into guys than I am? I'm the one who likes men. This entire situation is hilarious. We all say we like Akiyoshi. His whole thing is, don't kiss your boyfriend in front of me. Not because I'm homophobic, but because it's gross. You're literally swapping spit with someone. That is what he's worried about. Oh my god. He's worried about cootie juices. He's worried about cooties. That's what he's worried about. Also, moot point? Seriously, what 12-year-old says moot point? Maybe if you took your nose out of your textbooks for a couple minutes and actually did stuff, you wouldn't be going around saying insane stuff like kissing is gross. Then again, like, I think he'd rather he still call it gross. I think I'd rather he still call it gross for a few more years. My heart couldn't bear it otherwise. Still, if you have a crush, then how can you think kissing is gross? Who says I have to kiss her? We can do stuff together if it ever comes to that, such as holding hands. That's what he's worried about? Holding hands? Oh my god, this is amazing. Oh my god. You are such a child, actually. It's adorable, but dear lord. Puberty is going to come for you like a truck. Just watch. Kind of glad I won't be around much for that. Good luck, Mom. I've helped take care of him as much as I could for the last 12 years, but the privilege of dealing with this is all yours. Mean? Yes. Remiss of me? Yes. Do I care? No! I think seeing Aki go through puberty and start caring about girls and having those rebellious, angsty teenage years would cause me psychological damage. Oh, God. I think Aki is going to have an emo phase. I think he's going to have an emo phase. Oh my god, imagine how adorable that would be. Just like, we get back, his head fur is long and dyed black. There's like black eyeliner. He's wearing a fucking Fallout Boy t-shirt. And like ripped up black jeans. Yuichi would cry and I would drink his tears. Let him suffer. Holding hands is pretty cute, I guess. A very child-safe date idea. Don't call it that! I'm not a child. You're 12. You're, by definition, a child. Nuh-uh! I'm a preteen! Boy, you are really grasping at straws just to avoid admitting you're still a kid. I'm not a kid! Aki, look at you. You're pint-sized. I still haven't gone through puberty yet, but you'll see. I'll be taller than you real soon! You're the same height as kids around 8 or 9. I seriously doubt that. Taller than you are right now? Sure, but don't hold your breath. I get that, but do try not to look forward to it too much. What? You're only saying that to tease me. I'm really not. I just don't want you to put a lot of expectations on how your body will develop only to end up insecure and frustrated because you didn't grow up to be as tall as you wanted to be. I've seen it happen more than once. It's not great. I'd rather grow up to be confident in yourself regardless of how you develop. There's no point in feeling frustrated or resentful about something you can't really change. See, for you to say, look at you! Sure, I might be taller than most guys our age, but I also grew up next to Shoichi. It was a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure I used to be taller than him when we were kids. Now he's a whole head taller than me. He's not that much taller. It's still noticeable, yeah? I suppose. Say you want to use Keisuke as a model, then try to model that attitude too. Sure, he's aware of the fact he doesn't have the same physical development as some other players our age, but he's still confident in himself and what he does. Hard not to be when you've worked so hard to polish yourself. And there's Tanabe, he's a head shorter than me, but usually always dominates in competitions, and yet he's still pretty bitter about that. Can you imagine how frustrating it is to have the guy who constantly beats you turn around and lament how he compares to you in the same breath? Oh, I didn't know Takagini did that. It's been so long since I've last heard Aki call him that I can't help myself from wincing. I'll try my best to mask it. Suppose it makes sense. He hasn't been around in 3 years, so they haven't had a chance to interact much. It should be that Aki liked being around Tanabe more than he did me sometimes. I was always so jealous too. But I guess the jealousy thing is just something I have to work on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my dad's taller than me. Like, I'm a grown adult. I'm 22. I'm a grown adult, and he's taller than me. So I guess the jealousy thing is just something I have to work on. Either way, try to work hard on being happy about what you do have, okay? You don't want to go through puberty, always comparing yourself to others. Yeah, I'll try. No promises, though. Yeah, that is something. Well, no. I'm not going to get into it. However, I have seen it before. Yeah, I'll try. No promises, though. And if something does pop up, I'm only a phone call away. You can call me whenever you need. Do mind the different time zones, though. Close the gap between the two of us, placing a hand atop Aki's head and playfully messing up his fur. A bit more roughly than I normally would, just to try to dispel whatever weird thoughts might be bubbling beneath the surface. So stop that! And could you not talk like you're gone already? You're still going to be around for a whole year. I suppose, but time can pass pretty quickly if you're not paying attention. Now you sound like Mom. Mom does say some pretty wise things, and yet you don't listen to her half the time. Gotta maintain my reputation as a resident bad boy, don't I? Yeah, sure. An enthusiastic agreement if I've ever heard one. Go back to tidying up for your boyfriend, please. No can do. I'm not nervous anymore, thanks to you. Great. I will shoot him a message to see when it will be by, though. 1 second. Knock yourself out. There's several days worth of new messages between Keisuke and you, starting at July 16th. Sure to scroll the conversation up to see them. Hi. Wanted to let you know him all good. Will you be getting here soon? He cannot type worth shit.
Yes, I'm in the car. It should only be 10 more minutes away at most.
Okay, see us soon. I'm gonna go through all that just to read this. Just to read all that, because it's great. Yeah, I'm also like, Yuichi. Good night, I just wanted to say, glad you enjoyed yourself. Did you just get moe? Smart. I'm gonna take a bath now, TTYL. Hee hee, you too, heart. Hey, haven't heard from you in a bit. You okay? Don't want to be clingy, but you haven't even been by for lunch. Sure, I get that. Can we at least call or something? Smart. That's okay. Just take care of herself, piss. Morning. Will you be by today? Okay. You're taking care of herself at least. Hey, it's been a bit. Is everything okay? Morn. You too. Morn. Nad, I sure am. Das okay, I want to. Hee hee, see you at lunch. Good morning to you too. Did you just wake up? Good God. Oh sure, the task sounds great to me. Wanana. Wanana! Fucking Wanana! 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 Call about the details. Aight, hi. Wanad Ted to let you know when all good. Will you be getting here soob? Okay, see us soon. Wanana! Fucking Wanana! You will never. It's spelled like this. Wanana. 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 Nice. I know Keisuke's always been the punctual type, but a little part of me was worried he might get held up somehow. We all love Wanana. If anything, he's actually showing up a tad early, given we said 4 p.m. and all. Actually, I'm actually really excited. I've barely gotten to spend much time with him lately. Someone told me a few months ago how badly I could be looking forward to seeing someone. I'd have called them crazy. I haven't felt this way since I was around Tanabe. That's a whole ass can of worms that I don't have the energy to properly unpack, otherwise I'd be spending several days on it. And I don't really have the time or the energy for any earth-shattering realizations about myself at the moment. Keisuke said he's about 10 minutes out. Alright, I'll just hang around watching TV for a bit, then go play games in my room, probably. To be honest, I'm surprised you don't have plans with your friends today or anything of the sorts. Nah, a lot of them are having to take remedial classes over the summer. And they also got grounded because of it. It'll be a bit before we can do stuff. At most, it'll just go to the club more often to practice. That's fair. I'll also have to chisel out some time for myself, too. Since getting access to the school courts during break is always a bit of a pain. You say that, but you're always given preferential treatment for that sort of thing since you're a high-ranked player. And what does it tell you that even with the preferential treatment, it is still a pain to use them? I guess that's true. Can't argue with that. Since it's outside regular school hours, you always need a staff member chaperone to open and close the courts and make sure any gear is properly stored and accounted for. And while it's true that the building is shared with the volleyball club and their coach and their teacher advisor tend to open the general buildings for the volleyball team to use in practice, the door that leads to the tennis courts is locked unless ours shows up. Which, well, I can't be mean and say he doesn't show up at all, but he's not exactly prompt or punctual. Last year, there were several times where he got randomly held up, and we stood outside waiting for him for over an hour at times, since there's no way everyone could fit in the locker rooms at once. It's very frustrating stuff that I hate to deal with. That's why I usually use some of my saved up allowance to pay to use the courts at local clubs and stuff. But since we're in the middle of summer break, that also means there are waiting lists and lots of competition to access them. And of course, public courts are a no-go unless I got there at the butt crack at dawn. I wouldn't stand a chance to use them. So yeah, getting proper practice in during summer break without being in a member of a private club is a nightmare. Not asking Mom to sign me back up for one. I know we already have quite a few expenses as is. Even if we're comfortable right now, I'd rather we be able to save up when possible. Plus, I know that even if I try to pay my own way when I'm in the US, tournament earnings when you're a low-ranking player aren't exactly consistent income. I'll probably work a part-time job at first, but I might need help sometimes. And I know Mom is counting on that, even if she won't outright say it. Can't spend our money carelessly. By the way, I've already prepared the ingredients for it, so it'll be a quick cook, so don't expect dinner to be late or anything. Let me guess, it'll be curry? Yes! Knew it. You've been cooking nothing but curry lately. Hey! I've kept the family's meals varied. We still had curry half a dozen times the past couple weeks. It's been that long since I started making it, maybe a week and a half at most. Not the point. It's a good weeknight meal, and I already had all the ingredients for it anyway. If you don't like it, you're welcome to learn how to cook. I was younger than you when I learned. Don't know what to tell you. It's what I'll be cooking. I know, I'll eat it. Don't worry, I'm just saying, that's a lot of curry. Buckle up, kid. I still have enough leftover curry blocks, and even if I space them out, we're going to be having a lot more curry than usual for the foreseeable future. If it starts being too much even for me, I'll figure out other ways to use them. Use smaller amounts of blocks and other dishes as seasonings and stuff. You could do worse than curry. At least it's not unhealthy. Probably better than the fried cutlets I make semi-often. Ugh, but I like the cutlets! I guess I could make katsu curry. You're really intent on shoving curry into anything you can, aren't you? You have a huge stockpile of it. Gotta use it up. Curry doesn't even have a short shelf life! You can keep it in the cupboard for a while. I could, but you know I don't like leaving food sitting around and buying stuff when the pantry is still full. Death! What's that even supposed to mean? Is he wishing death upon me or for himself? Or is it even death to Curry? What's that even supposed to be? Oh, he's here already. Wait, we'll continue this conversation later. Give me a... It's fine. Go get your boyfriend. Thanks, I'll be right back. 1 second. Run to the front door in a rush. Too excited to even care about acting cool or collected. I jiggle the keys for a few seconds, trying to get it into the keyhole, practically slamming the door open the moment I get it unlocked. For my efforts, I am rewarded with the beautiful visage of my boyfriend, sporting a handsome smile that seems to be halfway to cracking into laughter.
Wow, that was fast. Were you on a rush to see me or something?
Yes!
Oh dear, I didn't expect to actually agree. That is certainly flattering.
Come on in!
Thank you, don't mind if I do.
Keisuke shuffles inside, immediately stopping by the front step to take off his shoes and grab a pair of slippers while I lock the door behind him.
It's just you at home?
No, Aki's in the living room watching TV.
Oh nice, I haven't seen Akiyoshi-kun in a while.
Funny, we were just talking about how the two of you get along a few minutes ago. Aki seems to like you.
Is that so? I'm certainly glad to hear. Akiyoshi-kun is quite level-headed and easy to talk to, especially for his age. Granted, your mother is as well. I can see where he gets it from. The three of you are quite blessed.
Damn. Complimenting my whole family in the same breath. Are you trying to flatter me or something?
I speak only truth.
Keisuke doesn't stand on ceremony, walking into the living room and leaving me to follow behind. Aki seems to be transfixed with the anime he's watching, not noticing us at first until the hair speaks up.
Good afternoon, Akiyoshi-kun.
Keisuke-san! Aki hops off the couch, a beaming smile plastered on his face, and half jogs towards us to give Keisuke a hug. I barely stepped away for a few minutes. You know I was about to bring Keisuke inside. Why are you acting so surprised? My favorite show is opening came on and I kind of forgot. What are you even watching? I don't recognize that one. Doesn't matter, it's a rebroadcast of last week's episode anyway. If you say so, I haven't kept up much this season. Even if I wanted to, I doubt I'd have much time for it this year. Even keeping up with the manga I've been reading for a few years has been hard.
What have you been up to, Akiyoshi-kun? No plans for summer vacation?
Not yet anyway. Most of my friends are having to take remedial classes, so we won't be able to do stuff together for a while. The only ones free are the girls in the group, and I feel weird accepting their invitations to go without any of the other guys around. Last time I did, it turned out to be a date, and I wasn't comfortable with that. You didn't even know it was a date? She said her other friends would be coming too, but then it turned out it was just the two of us at the movies. It was so awkward. I told her I didn't appreciate her tricking me into something like that, and after, and she started crying. I didn't know what to do. Well, why is this the first I'm hearing about this? You never asked. Why would I go out of my way to specifically ask you if you've been on dates recently? Who does that?
That's quite a frustrating experience. It's to be expected that younger boys and girls would be clueless about this sort of thing. Is that your first time going on a date?
No, not really. I've been on a couple before, but those I actually knew were going to be dates. Aki, you're a bit too young to be dating. Nice try. I know for a fact you were dating when you were my age too. And given my track record, I would be the first person to tell you I was a bit too young to be dating. Unlike you, I actually know what I like, so it's not like I'm going to be confused. And I already decided not to go on dates anymore. It feels weird to be on one when I already have someone I like. Dating to try and forget about it doesn't feel nice, and it's not fair to the girl I went out with.
Wow, I'm surprised with your maturity over this. It definitely isn't a good idea to be dating someone while having a crush on someone else. It's good on you for recognizing it.
You could have told me about this stuff and I would have helped you out. You are the last person I want involved in my love life. What's that supposed to mean? Don't laugh.
My apologies, but laughing is an involuntary reaction. I could no more restrain it than you could avoid breathing.
I don't think laughing and breathing are in the same ballpark here.
You're right. Yawning, then. You do tend to yawn quite easily if you see someone else yawn.
What? It's true. Aniki yawns even from hearing the word yawn too many times. So stop it. You're doing it on purpose. See, he's trying not to yawn right now.
Oh my... Yuichi! How did I not know about this until now?
Betrayal! Betrayal of the highest order! No more bananas for you! And by my own flesh and blood, too! Shut up about it already, okay?
Well, well, what do we learn about involuntary reactions?
I learned that you laughed at me twice, and so you must suffer.
Oh dear, we seem to be learning the wrong lessons here.
I am happy to see these two getting along, but I must admit that the possibilities that arise from them teaming up make me a little nervous. Lug, you get extra bananas. You get their bananas. I can't predict what they might do, and that's scary. Okay. You made your point. I'm sorry for getting mad.
Wait, you were actually mad? I thought it was for a bit.
I give up.
You can't get upset at something so random and then be surprised when I think you're joking. You tend to use fake outrageous humor somewhat often.
I'll give you that one, but still. If it were Shoichi, I'm sure he'd have realized right away. Maybe partly because he knows how weird I am with Aki's safety. Obviously I can't dissuade you from it, so I give you my permission to date and stuff. Just be careful, okay? Come to me or mom if you ever get into trouble. I don't need your permission. Too bad, you already got it. No backsies. And I already said I'm not going to go out on dates anymore. Well, good. You're too young to... Now we're going in circles. New topic, please.
Well, why don't you tell me more about what you've been up to lately, Akiyoshi-kun? How's practice?
Right, can get a word in edgewise. Keisuke smoothly guides the conversation into a different topic, gently tapping Aki's back and gesturing towards the couches. Sure, actually, I'd appreciate if you could give me some feedback. I am the one left behind, gawping at how quickly I've been left behind as Aki is easily taken with the conversation. After standing in silence for a minute, too stunned to figure out how to proceed, I sheepishly step back into the living room and take a seat next to my boyfriend, fully aware of the fact they did not acknowledge me at all. Maybe my attitude earlier was a tad much if this is what I get out of it. I just can't help it. I get really worried for Aki's safety. He's still a little kid for me. It's hard to see him as anything but.
It seems to me like if that is your issue, you might be struggling with body balance. Have you had your coach check if your muscles are developing evenly on both sides of your body? It could also be that your center of mass is changing as you grow up.
Well, I hadn't thought of that. It's been a while since I've gone to physical like that.
Would be the worst idea to get one. I'm surprised the coaching staff in your club hasn't asked for it.
Might have skipped the last few times he tried. Seriously. I don't like taking my shirt off for them.
That's valid. You shouldn't do something you feel uncomfortable with, but
I can't really get a proper physical without it, right?
Yeah. You can maybe wear a shirt that is more body tight, or if they need to use any medical instruments, since I don't know how thorough they are at your club, have them place some under your clothing. It's better than nothing.
It's worth a try. I'll think about it.
I hope it goes well for you.
Thanks. What about you, Keisuke-san?
We'll have a lot of work piled upon me as of late. I won't bore you much with the details, but suffice to say, I've not been able to practice much.
Yeah, Keisuke hasn't shown up for practice for the past 2 weeks or so.
Has it been that long? Oh gosh, it really has.
Don't worry about it so much. You've been through a lot.
Even so, I do not relish having to give up on things that
satisfy the enemy. Your expectations crush so hard, me.
Even if, as you've put it before, a lot of my struggles are self-inflicted.
I didn't say that in so many words.
It's fine, I've had time to reconsider. I know that this is ultimately my own doing, but it is hard to trust someone enough to do something about it.
I get that, but you do know it's not the best thing for you to be treating yourself like this, right? At some point, your body is going to start breaking down.
Yes, I do know that. I am no fool. For good or bad, I am the one that feels the consequences of it firsthand. It has not been fun, and... sorry, Akiyoshi-kun, I just realized I've been going on about this thing you know nothing about.
It's alright, I'm gonna head up to my room, actually.
Huh?
Really? You said you were gonna stay down here for a while.
I'm sorry, it's because of me. I'll explain what's going on.
No, it's alright. I don't mind the conversation or anything, but it seems like you guys would have to talk about something important. It would be better if you didn't have to stop and explain things to me over and over. I was going to stay down here and chat for a bit before heading up to my room anyway. But I'll just go upstairs a bit early and play some games on my laptop. Give you guys some space to talk.
Are you sure you're alright with that?
I'm good. Good luck with whatever you're dealing with, Keisuke-san.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
True to his word, Aki shuffles upstairs without saying much of anything, only stopping at the base of the stairs to glance back momentarily, and give me a thumbs up. Little shit, he knows what he's doing.
I really have been making a fool of myself lately, Now I even have a literal child walking away in his own house to be considerate of me.
Why do you always choose to look at things in a way that makes you look bad?
How else am I supposed to look at it?
I don't know, be nice to yourself and all that? Is that too much to ask for? Still, I'm a little surprised. You talked about it being your fault for you're in this situation, but in previous texts you said you didn't think I could convince you to hire help?
Yes, I understand this is my own doing, but it's changed the fact that I don't believe I have any other choice. If I were to trust so much upon a stranger right now only to find out they were playing me, it would be disastrous. If I hire someone I don't trust, I'll end up double-checking all of their work, at which point I'll be basically doing it all myself either way. Might as well cut off the meaningless middle stages even if I hate it.
It's not that you want to do it all yourself, you just don't think you can trust anyone else with it.
Partly, the only person I feel like I could maybe trust with this is Alex. And not only because he is trained for this, it isn't even his actual job. I'd be tacking another obligation on top of him that he wouldn't be getting compensated for. I can't do that, especially now that I don't even have the personal funds to pay him out of it.
Alex is only in the maybe trustworthy category. We've talked about this a little before, but still, ouch! The guy is a very picture of devotion. He'd feel sad if he found out Keisuke doesn't trust him properly. You know, the thing with her former butler has left you with trust issues, but you can't assume everyone else will be like him.
Why not? He could see the writing on the wall and he left when he had the chance to get himself into a better position. Who wouldn't do that?
Aren't there lots of people who didn't even after that happened, like Alexander?
They maybe weren't given the opportunity.
I find that hard to believe. You're telling me that after your position with the family got massively undermined, not a single person had the chance to take advantage of that? It's like the most likely time for something like that to happen. And I get that you're still feeling raw from what happened, but surely the solution to someone betrayed my trust would be to be more careful with who you trust instead of never trusting anyone ever again. Like, it's okay to have some degree of concern, but to swing so far in the other direction, you close yourself off completely is unreasonable.
I know that. In my mind, I know that, but...
But
letting myself trust someone like that again is really difficult.
I get that, but this is unsustainable for you. How much longer do you think you can keep this kind of schedule up? You're a damn high school junior. You really think you can keep this up as a senior while studying for college entrance exams or, God forbid, an actual university? I know you think that you'll just get used to the workflow and things will get faster and all, but you're just kicking the can further down the road. The reality is probably that things will get worse. After all, when have you ever known any kind of workload to get lighter? Usually people give you less work when you start learning something and start ramping it up as soon as you get used to it. Not more.
True, but what else am I supposed to do?
I'm telling you what you shouldn't do. You're just not listening to me. Or at least choosing not to. Whether it's because you're stubbornly digging in your heels or because it's easier for you to not face up to something that scares you. But the end result is the same. You're just making yourself suffer. Look, for now, why not try to get input from the people that you do trust? Ask for Alexander's opinion on it. The guy would basically throw himself in front of a bullet for you. I think you can afford to give him some trust. Or at least I would hope to God you could. I think he has a mostly good eye for people, and ask him what he thinks. If someone doesn't pass a sniff test, then look for someone else. You don't have to hire just anyone that shows up, but I'm sure there are qualified people you could get that would be a great help.
That's fair enough. I can't really argue with that without being unnecessarily stubborn and hostile.
At least you realize that some self-awareness goes a long way.
Still, I'm not even sure how my funds will work for this. Theoretically, I should get paid, but I also can't imagine them giving up the control they have over me by making me submit all my personal expenses and requiring approval on them. If the salary for anyone I hire is subject to that kind of scrutiny, it would be really hard to keep control over them, as I would ultimately not be the one signing the checks.
You're doing actual labor for them. I think you can afford to push for a proper salary to be deposited in a bank account only you have control over everything. You're 18. It's not like they can pull the minor card to mess with your account willy-nilly. Like, this is very clearly a battle you should actually pick. Instead, you let the stuff you should push back against pass by, and you choose to push on things that really aren't that big a deal. You're just exhausting yourself unnecessarily, beating against the walls that way.
Beating against the walls, huh? Oddly fitting, given the fact I live in a gilded cage.
Wait, that's not what I...
No, it's quite alright. It is, as I've said, apt. That's what my life has been like, for better or worse. I've spent so long of dreaming what it would be like to escape this. I mean, also to pay as well. It would be quite like me to be the one sabotaging my own chances at the end. Bogging myself down with work so that I can have an excuse to point to as to why I haven't been able to be free myself. It might just be my own way of trying to avoid taking responsibility for my own failings.
I don't think putting it all on yourself is healthy either. Your family life isn't exactly good or normal. Of course, you wouldn't be able to find a quick or easy way to escape it. Even if there are resources people can use to escape from bad home situations and whatnot, I don't think the majority of the people has your circumstances. Of course, they wouldn't be designed for it.
True, and my own ineptitude at every facet of what is otherwise regular daily life for most does not help. The truth is, I was raised to be a follower, take over the company in name only as I listened to the commands barked at me by my family, because not having an heir would be seen as a concern to the more old school and conservative of the shareholders. They want new blood. They just don't want to bother with listening to our thoughts and opinions, so I meant to merely knuckle under and do as I'm told. Little surprise it is that I have not learned how to think and do things by myself. From the get-go, I was intended to be helpless on my own.
It can't really be that bad. Sure, you're not good at home life type of stuff, chores and the likes, but you're very smart, and you know things about topics I could never begin to wrap my head around. But I don't think you give yourself enough credit for that.
Sure, I have a skill set, but more that of a paper pusher than anything. I was taught so that I could understand the inner workings of the position I am expected to inherit. but not so I could make decisions based on that information. I need to learn enough so I can understand that what I am doing and perform the menial tasks expected of me, but not so much that I can question the decisions I am told to make. Sure, there is a bit more nuance to it, but that is quite accurate as a gist of things. It is quite a frustrating position to be in. All my attempts to branch out and get away from it have been fruitless, but maybe only partially because I keep picking avenues that deep down I know have no real chance of success. The architect of my own demise indeed.
Whoa, this has gotten very philosophical very fast. I admit, I only got maybe 60% of what he just said. It is a bit frustrating that I can't really keep up with his reasoning whenever Keisuke gets introspective like this. Wish I could be more help, but if I'm constantly playing catch up with what he said several minutes before, can't really offer any useful insight or perspective. Then again, what good could my perspective be in this situation? Keisuke's life and circumstances are so far removed from anything I've ever been through, I can't even begin to think of what could genuinely be helpful. Back when we were made to read some stupid romance novels in school, I used to hate the way our teachers would refer to us as being a story of lovers from two different worlds. Thought it was exaggerating and stupidly pretentious. Now I think I kinda get where he was coming from. Not that paying more attention to that could have helped me with any of this, though. Look, I'm very well aware of the fact I can be totally off base here. Can't really understand what you're going through since your life is far removed from normal to me. But I do still think it would be genuinely better for you to look at what you can do right now to make things a little better. Hiring someone that can do the work you can't do on your own would be a great start. And even if you don't have much choice on who it'll be, that is still better than nothing.
How can you say that, though, knowing what you know?
Well, no one said you have to trust them implicitly.
You not hear what I said about earlier, having to constantly double check what they're doing being more work than doing it on my own?
I have, but I'm not telling you to do that. Look, if you're that worried about that whoever you hire it might end up being some kind of malintent on using them, then lean into that.
Meaning?
Use them back. Squeeze all the benefits you can out of that relationship. Make up your mind on whether they're trustworthy or not later and get rid of them if they're not. Like, get all you can out of it for as long as you can. Make them do the work you need them to, but also make them teach all the useful information you can. If in the end they turn out to not be someone you can trust, at least you have learned from them and you won't be dragged back to square one if you have to start over. Or, well, I'm not sure it's going to be quite that simple. And I'll admit that kind of tit-for-that relationship of convenience based on how someone can benefit you isn't exactly something I'm comfortable with, but when in Rome...
I see. That is one way to look at it.
Of course, like I said, I might sound... I might be so stupidly wrong about this that I don't even understand how dumb I sound. I am totally talking out of my ass here, but maybe something will be helpful, I can't tell.
And I think you've already been more helpful than you realize.
Have I?
At the very least, you offer me a point of view I could never really contemplate on my own. Even if you turn out to be factually incorrect on occasion, that challenging of my assumptions forces me to rethink things from an angle I wouldn't have otherwise.
What does that mean exactly?
And even if you don't have the exact answer that I need, you make me think in ways that might be unconventional to me, and therein might lie the solution to my woes. I will say that is a shockingly mercenary way of looking at it. Use them before they can use you is what it boils down to, right? It's not quite something I'd have thought of on my own, but it doesn't feel refreshingly simple.
Oh no. I might have made Keisuke open a door that he really shouldn't. He's already cunning to a fault. And now I've basically told him to use people with no shame so long as that'll be of some benefit to him. That might have ripples further down the line I can't even begin to imagine. What have I done? Just be careful you don't turn into your family in the process.
Reynard do not relish having to do such a thing, but it is a potential way out. Father has been quite insistent that I hire his former aide, Emilian, to work under me, likely as a spy for him, but there is nothing that says I can't benefit from that relationship. Sure, I might sacrifice some privacy in the short term, but Emilian has worked under my father for over a decade. He is a treasure trove of resources and information, and if I can glean even a fraction of that from him, well, now that might put me in a much better position. Let's collect information.
I see. Glad to be of help. What have I done? Does that mean you're going to hire the guy after all?
I just still need to think it through carefully to make sure I am not making an impulsive decision I'll come to regret later. Perhaps I'll talk it through with Alex, as you said, but I am far more amenable to the idea now.
Great.
Thank you. I had been under a great deal of anxiety and frustration over my helplessness in the situation, but I can't say categorically I've come to an answer that will fix everything. It has helped a huge deal to clear away that hazy feeling.
I'm glad to help, just, be careful and all.
Worry not, I will strive to put a great deal of thought and consideration in all my endeavors. You ought to know that by now.
Yes, I do know that, but it's still a bit unnerving to see you phrasing stuff like that. Gives you a bit of a puppet master vibe that's honestly sort of terrifying. Still, I'll choose to take the win for now, that he'll at least look into a way to help himself. That is a win after all, right? Maybe? Hopefully? Please? Glad you're in a better mood, I think.
I am in a much better mood, make no mistake.
That's good. Actually, if that's the case, I hope you don't mind circling back to something you said earlier, because I did have an idea that I was planning on talking to you about today.
Oh, what's that?
Did you don't like how helpless you feel when it comes to doing things on your own? And while I can't help you with that when it comes to work stuff, since that's way outside my wheelhouse, I can help with, chores.
Chores?
Yeah, we kind of sort of joked about it when you were staying here, especially after the washing machine incident, if you remember.
I certainly recall that, yes.
But we never actually did any of it. I guess I did give you a sort of cooking lesson once upon a time, but that was about it. You went back home, both got busy, and then forgot about it. Well, you might not think that tennis will be a way out for you anymore. You don't really know what might happen in the future. Maybe you'll find a different way to earn some independence. Maybe you won't. Either way, learning how to do regular chores is kind of a basic survival skill. Basically, full shade indeed. Full shade intended. I don't know how long I could respect a man who doesn't know how to do a lot of laundry or thinks sautéing means to add salt. You literally speak French, so what the hell was that?
I told you! I panicked, my brain glitched. I know what the word sauté means. I know it has nothing to do with salt, honest.
Actually, come to think of it, I have no clue what the word sauté means, but I guess it's not the point right now. Either way, I think it would be a fun summer project for us to do on our free time. I can teach you how to do stuff so you can feel a bit less helpless about it. Plus, it will be an easy excuse for us to spend time together.
I must admit there's a fair bit of merit to that idea.
Sorry, I got a bit carried away. Feel free to tell me if you hate it or think it's dumb.
What? No, that's not it at all. Simply feeling a little embarrassed still at the extent of my ineptitude. If you'd be willing to do it, then I would love that.
Sure. I won't say that we should start today because there isn't much in the way of chores that need to be done. Maybe I'll stain some old shirts and whatnot next time you come over and walk you through how to wash different fabrics and remove different types of stains.
There are different types of stains?
Oh, you sweet summer child, you have a lot to learn. Different substances stain different fabrics in different ways. The way to remove a mustard stain is different from how you remove a wine stain, which is different from how you remove a blood stain, so on and so forth.
Blood stains?
If you get hurt semi-often during practice, you kind of learn how to do it. You need a good enzyme cleaner for some of them. Others you clean with stuff like regular stain removers, others you use peroxide and stuff, and it all depends on whether it's white or colored fabrics. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it step by step.
Maybe I should bring a notepad with me when we do this.
Not the worst idea. We can call it Keisuke's Crash Course into Adulting 101.
I'd rather leave it nameless, thank you very much.
Suit yourself. I personally think a good name thinks anything sound cooler.
Yes, but a good name is exactly what's missing here.
What's that?
Nothing.
Suspicious. I'll let it slide here. Slide though. For now. If I am nothing if not generous. Well, that's about what I want to talk about, really. To be honest, I didn't expect the conversation to go so smoothly. Thought we'd be at it for a while and then maybe take a break for me to make dinner. I even chopped and prepped all the ingredients ahead of time.
I don't know how I feel about you counting on me being too stubborn for my own good.
Well, that has been the established precedent for a while now. You're real easygoing and open-minded about something and really, really fussy about others. I will simplify it with one word, Amethyst. Banana. It has been simplified. Banana. Hard to tell which way the die will be cast sometimes. Yes, banana. Banana! It's okay, you can be pretty cute when you're being fussy.
If you say so, cute is not really a role I ever imagined myself fulfilling.
Does it bother you having me call you that?
What? No, I wouldn't.
I don't know, some guys might consider it emasculating or whatever. I had to be sure.
No, don't worry, that is the furthest thing from my mind.
Why the bitter smile then?
Bitter smile, is that what it looked like? Oh dear, I'm sorry, I did not mean to worry you. If I am bitter about anything, it's the fact that I'm not allowed to let my guard down like this at any other times. If I'm considered cute to you, it's only because I feel safe enough to be vulnerable around you. I would not present myself in such a way in front of just anyone after all.
I guess it makes sense. The last thing you need is for people to not take you seriously at home or at school.
Precisely. I need to maintain a prim and proper facade at all times. One that is regrettably difficult to turn off at times. Though I know you've noticed it before. You've called me out on how my manner of speech fluctuates based on how tense or nervous I am feeling and all that.
Yes, we are on bananas. Speaking of, you've been doing it on and off since you got here. You're doing it right now, actually.
Yes, right, that's my point. I mean, that's what I meant. I need to make myself appear respectable at times, as is expected of my position. So, while yes, it is flattering to hear that my boyfriend finds me cute, it does make me a little sad that it can't be this open in other areas of my life.
On the other hand, it does make me feel a bit special that there's a side of you that I'm only allowed to see.
Is that so? I suppose that's a better way of looking at it. I don't mind it as much in that case. Either way, you shouldn't have to worry about using that kind of word to describe me. I know you mean it as a compliment, and my masculinity is not so fragile that I'd be bothered by it. I am a man, no matter what you say. That simple fact will not change. Calling me cute or sensitive or even girly will do me no harm. Even if it were meant as an insult, I merely laugh and let it bounce off of me.
I admire your confidence. Not many guys our age could be that composed about it.
And I pity their fragile egos. I, however, am not bothered by it. So I appreciate that you are so attracted to me that you cannot avoid giving me compliments. So by all means, say whatever you want. I appreciate the attention.
That sounds like you're asking me to praise and compliment you more.
I wouldn't go that far, but if you want to throw a compliment my way, there is no reason to hold stuff back.
I'll keep it in mind.
If anything, I appreciate you being this open-minded. I'm glad we can talk about things like this without worrying too much.
So am I. It's pretty nice, actually. Usually I'm in a constant state of anxiety over pretty much everything, so it surprises me how comfortable I feel around you like this.
If that's not the ultimate compliment, I don't know what is. For now, how about we cuddle and watch something together until it's dinner time? Maybe kiss for a bit since Yoshikun is upstairs.
Totally!
Good. I'll also admit, as I know what you'll be preparing, I have been looking forward to it quite a bit.
Glad I can make you a little happy when you're dealing with so much stress lately.
A little happy? You do yourself a disservice by referring to it that way. You make me very happy.
Okay, I get it. Let's stop. You're going to end up giving me a big head.
As you wish, and you say I'm the cute one.
I'm not cute. You're cute. I will not stand down from this position. Keisuke suits closer to me on the couch, placing an arm along my back on the spine of the sofa and leaning forward so his face is only a few inches from mine.
I see the look on your face, you know. You don't have to grimace just because I called you cute.
I'm not as far along down that road as you are. I guess I still feel a little weird being called that.
Understand. Then how about I call you handsome instead?
I don't mind handsome.
Good, because you're my handsome boyfriend. Now get over here.
He closes the distance between us, planting a soft, tender kiss on my lips. One that I promptly return, leaning into it and wrapping my arms around his waist to hold him closer to me. God, I've been missing this so damn bad! Feels like both an eternity and also no time at all. Keisuke and I say nothing to each other, merely enjoying the moment and the feeling of being so close. I feel like I'm burning up. Still, we do have to be a little careful not to go too far. After all, we're not alone at home. The rest of the day is much of the same, with Keisuke and I cuddling on the couch watching whatever comes up on TV, sinking the few kisses here and there when we can. When Aki finally comes back down, I take that as a soon that it's starting to get late and I start on dinner, making sure that Kay is watching me cook and explaining what I'm doing in the process since I might as well. And although it's a fairly simple and homey meal, watching the look on my boyfriend's face as he eats it makes it all the effort worth it. I'd do it 100 times over to see that look on his face. Holy shit, I can rename shit. Stay safe, have a good night. Always eat your daily banana, and I will see you all tomorrow.